Steve Jobs would have turned 70 if he was alive today. Today, we're ripping open Steve Jobs' brain and extracting the exact battle plans that transform a college dropout into the most influential business leader of our time. In this podcast, you'll learn the exact tactical playbook that Jobs used to transform industries and crush competition. This isn't inspiration, it's implementation. You'll discover the packaging paradigm that makes customers value your offering before they even experience it. How end-to-end ownership creates loyalists instead of mere customers. The precise reality distortion field technique that Jobs used to recruit talent others. The invisible craft principle generate word-of-mouth marketing competitors can't buy. And what happens when you listen? Well, you'll immediately spot the critical touch points your business is neglecting. You'll understand exactly why your current offering aren't commanding premium prices. You'll recognize the opportunities for disruption hiding in plain sight. You'll walk away with 10 actionable frameworks ready for immediate deployment. So let's get started. The first lesson from Steve Jobs is design conveys value. So what do I mean by that? When Apple launched the iPhone in 2007, Jobs didn't just focus on the tech. He obsessed over the packaging. Apple even patented the iPhone's sleek, minimalist box to ensure the unboxing felt like an event. This wasn't just about looking pretty. It signaled quality and value before customers even held the device. So, for your business, how do you package your work? Whether it's a presentation, a report, or an email, the way you present it shapes how it's perceived. Spend time on the details. Clean layouts, sharp visuals, a confident tone. Ask yourself, does this reflect the value that I want to convey? First impression matter, make them count. So how are you packaging your product, your service? You have to have the packaging paradigm, shift the packaging paradigm, and you can, just by the packaging, you can increase the perceived value of your product and service. Lesson and strategy number 2. End-to-end ownership. So what do I mean by that? So think about Apple stores. Jobs didn't just design a product and call it a day. He shaped the entire customer experience. From the store's glass architecture to the Genius Bar, he controlled every touch point. This end-to-end ownership turned shopping into a brand immersion that competitors still struggle to replicate. He was obsessed, and Bernard Arnault is exactly the same way. He would go to stores of his companies, Louis Vuitton and other luxury brands that he owns, and he would look and see if there's anything off, if there's anything that is not aligned, the systems, the process. And Sam Walton also was like this. You see, you have to obsess about these things. The customer experience, the touch point, the end-to-end ownership. From getting the customer to have the brand immersion and the experience the customer gets. This is very, very valuable. Thinking your business, your products, your service, where you can differentiate the brand experience from your competitors. And more importantly, contribute to the final outcome. So this is very helpful when it comes to having that brand identity also. Next, strategy number 3, invest in the intersection of technology and art. So in 1986, Steve Jobs bought Lucasfilm Graphics division and turned it into Pixar. He saw the magic of blending cutting-edge tech with storytelling, which gave us Toy Story, the first fully computer animated feature film. This wasn't just a business win. It was a new frontier of innovation. How does this apply to you? Mix things up. If you're in business, try a design class. If you're an engineer, double in creative writing. Some of the best ideas come from combining fields that don't seem to fit. Step outside your comfort zone. Innovation thrives at the crossroads. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to invest into R&D, research and development. You have to innovate, do things that people aren't doing. How are you applying the new technology of AI into the business of maybe your field, your industry, your art, your design, your product, the service? And these things are going to separate you from your competition. We're here to build an empire and also dominate. And this is one of the things you have to do is make sure that you're the frontier of technology and innovation. If you are not adapting, if you are not using the new current technology, the trends, the latest could be softwares, the AIs, how are you integrating those things into the business? Then you're going to get left behind. Strategy number 4, trust your vision. When Jobs was developing the iPhone, focus groups begged for a physical keyboard, but he ignored them, betting on a full touchscreen interface instead. That gamble paid off, redefining smartphones forever. Ever feel like everyone's telling you how to play it safe or how to run your business? Well, you got to trust your instincts. Whether it's picking a major or pitching a bold idea, don't let the crowd drown out your vision. Take smart risk, okay? Keyword smart risk. Disruption often starts with going against the grain. And don't be afraid to go against the grain. You see, when the first app, everybody was wondering if this was going to work, if the new iPhone was going to work, right? Because it didn't have a keyboard. Well, guess what? It did. And there's going to be multiple times in your business where it could be a staff, a partner, an employee. Somebody is going to tell you what should happen. And there are going to be times where you have to listen to them. But there's also going to be times when to trust your instinct. And Steve Jobs had a vision. Steve Jobs he trusts his vision. And this led to other phones, other smartphones copying this design. After this release, phones didn't have a physical keyboard anymore. So he was the pioneer. He was the trendsetter. The lesson here is you have to trust your instincts. And sometimes, when you're innovating, when you're trying new things, you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to play it safe. Next, sell the vision. Okay? He has a reality distortion field. Jobs once lured John Scully from Pepsi to Apple with a single question. Okay, remember, this question is very, very important. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or come with me and change the world? I'm going to say that again. John Scully worked at Pepsi, and Jobs was trying to recruit him to Apple. And this was Steve Jobs' line to Scully that made him switch jobs. Do you want to sell sugar water for the rest of your life, or come with me and change the world? And that line was the deciding line. After John heard that, John Scully, he was on board with the Apple vision, the Apple game plan, the Apple domination. That wasn't just a charm, okay? It was Jobs' knack for making people see the possibilities they hadn't dreamed of. And a lot of people, you have to find out, if you want to build a great organization, you have to be able to recruit amazing people. Amazing people, they're out there. But you have to have a way to recruit them, a vision. Sell the vision. What do people really want? It's a paycheck, a good amount of money. For some people, they want to make an impact. So figure out what is their itch. What is their buttons that you need to press to be able to recruit amazing people in your organization. Okay? Use your passion to inspire. When you're pitching an idea or leading a team, paint a vivid picture of what's possible. Paint a vivid picture of what your product and service is going to do and how it's going to change the world and how it's going to impact other people's lives. Convince others and yourself that the impossible isn't so far off. Sometimes belief is the first step to making it real, and Elon Musk is also good at this. He shows people his vision. He tells people his vision, and the people that buy into that vision are the ones that change the world. So it's very important for you to be able to learn how to cultivate and learn how to use the human psychology to be able to persuade and influence people to get them to join into your organization. And more importantly, sell the dream, sell the vision every single day so that everybody moves with a purpose, moves with conviction, and make things happen. Lesson number 6, embrace lifelong learning. Okay, in 2005 Stanford speech, Jobs talked about the calligraphy course that he took at Reed College years later. That random class inspired Mac's beautiful typography, giving Apple a design edge no one else had. So you have to keep learning. There are things that's technology. There's always things that's progressing. Innovation, technology, updates, markets, whatever industry or business that you're in, you need to be able to continuously learn and keep learning. Even if sometimes it feels useless right now, but the photography elective that Steve Jobs did, the philosophy, and also he learned how to code, that all played and was helpful in his life later on. So you never know when a skill will spark something brilliant. Curiosity isn't a phase, it's a superpower. Always be learning data, get the right type of information, data, knowledge. What Charlie Munger likes to do is he likes to learn from different industries, and then he sees how it can be applied, cross-pollinate. Elon Musk also talks about that. How can you apply in a specific way or a process or a system in one industry and transfer that to another industry? So just keep learning. It is a never-ending journey. Number 7, perfection in every detail. Okay. For the original Macintosh, Jobs demanded that even the internal circuit boards hidden from the view he wanted it to be perfectly designed. Why? Because he believed that real craftsmanship mattered, even in the details no one would see. I told you Steve Jobs was obsessed. And how does this apply to you? Well, don't you have to sweat the small stuff. Polish the formatting in your notes, clean up your code's comments, tweak slides, alignment, um, pitch presentation, product service. Excellence in the unseen builds a habit of quality that shines through in everything you do. So, that Aristotle quote, excellence, winning is not something that we do sometime. It's something that we do all the time. Therefore, excellence is a habit. So we must be excellent in everything we do, from the small stuff to the big stuff, from the micro to the macro, from the minor and the major. Be obsessed. How are you going to compete with this guy? Like, for example, if you are, this is why BlackBerry, well, there's multiple reasons why BlackBerry didn't succeed. But if you are competing with a guy that is obsessed like this, you better match his same level of obsession, or else you're not going to compete and win. And people that have this level of obsession are the ones that win. So, Charlie Munger talks about being passionate about your work. Strategy number 8. Okay, this is what every organization must do, is that they hire top talent. Jobs hired Johnny Ive, who became Apple's design genius behind the iPod, the iPhone, and more. He didn't just look for skills. He sought out passion and vision, building a team that could push boundaries. Okay, how does this apply to you? Well, you got to surround yourself with the best. Iron sharpens iron, all right? In group work, partner with people who challenge you. In your career, seek out mentors and peers who raise the bar. Greatness rubs off. Choose your crew wisely. Pick the right people in your organization. And Steve Jobs recruited Scully, okay? Scully was an elite level top talent. And you must find a way to attract elite level talent in your organization, your product, your service, your designing, accounting, customer service, CFO, CMO, CTO, everything. Hire amazing people. It is important to hire them, but it's another skill to retain them. So have a strategy to hire and have a strategy to keep. Next, business strategy number 9, value direct communication. Okay. If you listen, there's a pattern here with great organizations, great companies, great founders, great CEOs, is that they hate bureaucracy. Okay. Jobs hated endless email chains. He'd rather hash things out in person, believing face-to-face talks spark better ideas and faster decisions, especially during Apple's product design marathons. If you look at Jensen, he also don't like bureaucracy. If you look at Renaissance Technology, Jim doesn't like bureaucracy. If you look at Mark Leonard from Constellation Software, he doesn't like bureaucracy. So there's a pattern here, pattern recognition. You got to recognize this pattern. So how does this apply to you? Skip the email ping pong, talk it out in teams, push for several real conversations. Direct communication builds trust. Cut up the bureaucracy. Clarity comes faster when you're looking for somebody in the eye, and more importantly, nobody likes levels and chains of committee. All right, so the last one. All right, the leapfrog competition. So, what does that mean? The iPhone didn't just tweak existing smartphones, it obliterated them. With its touch interface and ecosystem, it set a new bar overnight, leaving rivals scrambling to catch up. All right, so don't settle for a little better in your work. Aim to redefine the game. Create a project or idea so fresh it makes everything else feel outdated. Real wins come from bold leaps, not baby steps. Take the leap. Take the risk, calculated risk. All right. Innovate, do something different. And, Steve Jobs is one of the masters of the universe. And he wasn't just a tech titan, he was a visionary who rewrote the rules. His strategies, obsessing over design, owning the whole process, blending art and tech, trusting his gut, and perfecting the details weren't about following the pack. They were about leading. And one of the things that he also did was he was good at presenting. He was good at marketing. These are the skills that he leaned on because that was his strength. And figure out your strength. Know thyself. Understand yourself, what your strength, what your weaknesses are, and lean towards that. All right. So pick one of these strategies. There's one strategies that apply to you and what you're currently doing right now in your business. If you own a holdco, if you are an investor, if you have a business, mergers and acquisition executive, like there's one strategy that applies to you right now. So maybe you'll polish the packaging or take the group project, whatever it is. Take these strategies and apply it in your life. So I hope you learned something amazing today. And if you haven't already, subscribe, comment, make a comment. If you already made it this far, make a comment, say anything, talk about maybe whatever you like about, if you like something about the video, dislike something about the video. I want to know, I want to listen to your feedback. I'm building a community of people that want to build empires. Okay. If you're listening to this, go out there and build your empire and forge your legacy. With that being said, peace and stay tuned for my next video.